Hey everybody, I'm happy to see you guys back, and I hope that I get to see you lots more in the future. I had a lot of fun seeing all of your silver characters that you sent in the pictures that your parents sent me on text and on emails. That was lots of fun, and I'll be sure to include those at the end of the video so that you can see what you and your classmates made. Some of them made me laugh really hard, and other ones I was like, what? They made this? This is crazy. It's really impressive. So I'm really proud of you. This week, we are doing something a little bit different than we've done the previous weeks. We are not going to just focus on one color. We're going to take all that information about all these colors I've taught you about, add in a few new ones that I haven't really gone into too much, and you're going to take all that and make a really beautiful and fun logo for a pretend business. I think that all of you are going to enjoy this project, and I bet that a lot of you have already thought of your own business ideas at home off and on. You probably thought, hey, it'd be cool if someday I get to be somebody that owns a company that makes soccer balls. Or you might have thought, someday I want to be a ballet teacher and teach ballet. Or maybe you thought, someday I want to be a construction worker and have my own company. So I'm sure that all of you kind of thought about that in varying ways. And so this is a perfect time and opportunity to make a picture to represent this pretend company that you'd like to own someday or create someday. And I wanted to start out by showing you my lovely outfit, because I didn't just pick this outfit based on color. I picked it because there's a logo on it that I think is a great example of how to design a logo or a successful logo. So what is a logo? A logo is a picture or a symbol that represents a company, a business, or a brand, and it's something that's easy to see and it stands out, and it's usually really simple. And so on my shirt you see it says The North Face, and then there's kind of this mountain, sort of rainbow shaped mountain on the side. This is a company which a lot of you might be familiar with, but it does outdoor gear, camping gear, hiking gear, whether you're just like a family that's going camping or you're somebody that's like a hardcore, mountain climber, they do all of it. And so on this logo for their company, they want to have a really simple way to show whoever sees this brand or this logo on their products, hey, that's what we do. We are all about the outdoors. So they have a mountain to show you that. And immediately you think, this is an outdoor company. So even if you don't know what the North Face is, because their logo is good and designed well, you see this sort of mountain shape, and it kind of gives you these pictures in your mind of outdoors. And so whether you know about it or you don't, you kind of have that picture in your mind already. That's what a really good logo can do. Through color and through design, it tells you something about itself, whether you already know about it or you don't know about it. And you can figure that out just by looking at the picture. So color plays a really important role in really good logo design. And so all that information that we talked about over this past few months about color, that all applies and is important when you guys get to design your own logos. And so I'm going to walk you through really simply the colors of the rainbow and why each color is important and has different emotions and feelings tied to it, and some examples of really good logos or business graphics and symbols that have used that particular color. So you can think, oh, okay, I kind of get how this works, and then use some of those colors for your own business logo. So the first color I'm going to show you today is yellow. Yellow, like all of our colors I'm going to show you, has a lot of variations. So there's light yellows, dark yellows, more golden yellows. But in general, yellow makes us think of things that are optimistic, happy, positive. You think of this sun in the sky. Yellow and the sun are very connected. And it's a very cheerful, happy, alive kind of color. It gets your attention. So colors or logos that use the color yellow, good examples would be McDonald's. And I'm sure you all have seen that one, right? That's that fast food company with the golden arch M. And that's that Happy Meal place where you get your burgers, and it's just this cheerful place that you want to hang out and enjoy food. UPS, We have all seen so many UPS trucks driving around our streets lately. Thank the Lord for them these days. But on their logo, they have brown with golden yellow on it, and yellow on the UPS logo. I think that it makes me think of growth and clarity, and it being a color that is you can trust, right? Yellow is a trustworthy color. So UPS uses it in that way. And then you have companies like CAT, C-A-T, which is the construction company. So picture driving past construction sites in town and you see those big yellow construction vehicles. They say CAT on the side of them, and that is their company color. That is a color that identifies them. You see the yellow construction trucks, it's always a CAT truck. It is their color that is connected to their logo. And they chose that color because, again, it's this color that makes you think of trustworthiness, it's optimistic, it's happy. So yellow is a fantastic choice for a lot of logos. And then we have orange, okay? So here's a different selection of oranges. Orange, I feel like in some ways pairs with yellow because a lot of times you see them in logos together and they have some similarities, but orange I think has more of a feeling of confidence. Like you're sure, you know what you're doing. It's that kind of color. It's very dependable and it doesn't hold back. It's not afraid of attention. So a really fun example, that would be the Reese's peanut butter cups. The Reese's logo is orange, has a little bit of yellow on it, but is that not afraid to be what it is. It's a peanut butter cup, it's candy, and it's not afraid of telling you that that's what it is. And then Harley Davidson, I think, is another great example. That's the motorcycle company. They are loud. If you've ever heard a motorcycle that is next to you and it's exceptionally loud, it's probably a Harley motorcycle. And the orange logo goes so well with that idea of it. I'm not afraid to be what I am. I want you to know what I am because I'm good at what I do. Then there's Home Depot. That, of course, is the place where you can get everything you need for your project at home, as I tell you. So you can get the wood and the screws and the hammers and the nails and the tools and everything you need. And it is a place that you can go and you can be very confident and sure that your project is going to turn out okay because you went to Home Depot. Then we have red. I think this is the color that I see most in logos when I'm just driving around town. My kids and I drove around town maybe like a month or two ago, specifically looking for logos or business signs that were in red or had red in them. And we noticed that almost every single restaurant in town had the color red on their logo, or it was maybe entirely red on the logo. Okay, so red, like we talked in our very first class, red is the color that it wasn't always that it cost a lot of money to make it originally. Now it's really thought of as this color that is urgent and important, and look at me, you have to pay attention, right? We talked about how red, we see that with, emergency rooms, and we talk about life and death and love and all these passionate, strong emotions. Red is that color, but also it goes really well with food. If you think about, like I mentioned, driving around town and looking at the restaurants and the logos for the businesses, they're often in red. Well, red and food just goes together so well. It's like a color that makes you hungry. So think about pasta. Pasta sauce is red. Pizza. Pizza sauce is red. Even if you think about tacos or you think about all different types of food, red just so often goes with that. It just is a color that makes you hungry. It feels like it draws you in. So great examples of that logo color being used. Of course, all the food places that I mentioned, but also Coca-Cola. That's a logo that color is just like imprinted on our minds. We're going to see it forever. I think it's always going to stay the same red and white. Lego. That's a brighter red. It's a really punchy red with a really fun font or lettering for Lego. So it's a kid toy, right? It's for like kids. And then Target, I mentioned that before. Target with its bullseye. Red gets your attention. Bullseye, that means you've made it to the right spot if you come to Target. Or Netflix. Maybe you all have spent a bit of time on Netflix this past week. Netflix is just a really simple red rectangle logo, and it gets your attention. And Nintendo, all those logos have red in them. There's so many logos with red. It's a color that, like I said, the majority of logos out there have red in them. Then we have purple. This is a really fun one. Purple is a color that makes me think of imagination and makes me think of royalty, like we talked about in our class before, and mystery. And so this is a color that's used in logos. I think it's a little bit harder to find because the ideas of royalty and mystery doesn't always go with an idea that somebody has for a business. But those businesses which do want to have that kind of idea of imagination and creativity would often use the color purple. So Aussie hair products, they have purple shampoo bottles and spray bottles. Aussie is an Australian brand, and Australia is a place like where you want to go explore the world, and it's full of imagination and exploration. And so they chose purple for theirs. Creative, hair design is creative. And then Zulily is another great example. Probably a lot of you have gotten things from Zulily before. They put a little box at your door and it's probably got toys in it, or it maybe has clothes in it. But it's a company that is online and it's geared toward families. So they want to give their families everything that they could possibly want at a really good deal, and purple is the color of their logo. And then we have Cadbury eggs and the Lakers, which is a basketball team, Hallmark, all those places use purple. And blue. Blue, boy, I said red was used in almost every logo. I don't know, maybe blue is used just as much as red, but it's really close. Blue is used a lot in logos. If you think about the color blue, you think about the sky, you think about the ocean. It's there, it's present, it's constant, it's trustworthy, it's dependable, and it's safe. And so blue is a color that you see in a lot of logos like NASA, which is, talking about air and space and exploration, but it's a trustworthy color. They want you to be able to trust that they're going to do a really good job at what they're good at. Space exploration, right? And it's a calming color. So I think that is another reason that it's used a lot in logos. You think of technology companies like Dell and IBM and AT&T. There are so many logos that are done with the color blue in them. A lot of gasoline companies, places like that. And of course, any company that is about America, it's going to probably have blue in it. Maybe red, white, and blue in it. But those are just really fantastic logo colors. You see them and you feel like you can trust it because of the color. And then I don't really have cards here for this, but I think two colors, or kind of like non-colors, that we could talk about that are really important in logos and used a lot would be blacks and whites. Blacks and whites are used often pairing with some of these colors I just talked to you about, but sometimes they're used by themselves or just a black and white combo. Black is a color that makes me think of professionalism, being very exact and precise, and you believe it. White is a color that is very clean and pure, and when you put those two together, you have this fantastic contrast, this striking combination that is so classic. Black and white is fantastic for a logo. Some logos are just black and white. You think about Nike. Of course, Nike, the athletic company, you can see that squish in lots of colors, but black and white is their trademark logo. Or Puma, some of those companies have black and white as their colors. But really, any really good logo is going to look good in color. It's also going to look good in black and white, because if you print it out, sometimes you don't use color printers and you have black and white. So you want your logo to be good, whether it's in color or black and white, if you're really trying to design a good logo. One other color that I wanted to tell you guys about is green. Green is a color that makes us think of growth and new life, and it's a really important color in logos as well. If you think about places that are natural food companies or places that encourage taking care of the environment, those are the kind of places that often will use green as their signature color in their logo. So think of Whole Foods, think of New Seasons, which we have here in town, with their bright green logo, or other companies like that. Those companies want you to think they have all natural, everything's natural, it's from the earth, it's green, it's alive, it's growing. Very, very important color in logos that have that kind of feel. So if your business has that kind of feel, you want to make sure that you use green. And then the last color that I wanted to mention is silver. So kind of taking us back from Last week we talked about silver, silver being the color of the future and innovation, right? New things and kind of exploring the unknown. That's what silver is. And a lot of car companies specifically like to use silver. You think of Honda and Mercedes. And there's also other really important companies that use silver, but that is a color that is used for those reasons often, that it is a color of the future. So you think about this company is not just thinking about here and now, it's thinking about the future, and it's projecting out, and it's thinking about what's going to happen next. It's always on the cutting edge of what's going to happen next. So silver is a really fantastic choice for logos. So there is a lot of information on color, but I think that you guys are going to make fantastic logos and designs. Remember, keep your picture simple. You could either have just an image or an image with a word or words, but you want it to be really simple. You don't need lots of detail in it. Really good logos are usually very simple. Secondly, you want to make sure that you are using colors that connect really well with the idea of your logo. So if you're a company that is all about a really good meal that's going to be delivered to your door, then you want to think about colors that make you think of something that's reliable and delicious. So what colors make you think of that? And then use those colors. Or maybe you want to be a doctor, and so you want your company to be somebody who you can come to me and I'm going to help give you medical advice and give you the herbs and the tinctures that you need to get well. And so what are colors that make you think of that, and putting that in? So figure out what your business is, draw a logo for it, give it a name, and then make sure you take a picture of your logo and send it off to me so that I get to see them as well. And I look forward to seeing everything you have. Make sure you stick around for the end of the video where there's going to be pictures of all of your silver characters. And I look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye.